Hello, my name is Todd Burleson, and I am a fifth and sixth grade librarian at the Skokie School in Winnetka, Illinois. I have been in my current position for 5 years, and prior to that, I worked in an elementary library in our district, Hubbard Woods School. And prior to that, I was a third, fourth, and fifth grade teacher. Um, an honor to have this chance to talk a little bit about some of the work that I do with my students and how I was able to use Canva to help make that work even better. So let's get started. So, as you know, because you chose this as one of your sessions, today I'm going to be talking about using books as windows and mirrors and how doing that helps foster empathy in the library. Books, as you all know, serve as powerful tools to connect our students, both with their own identities and experiences. Obviously, that's mirrors, and also introduce them to diverse perspectives and stories, windows. Um, in this presentation, I'm going to show you how librarians can leverage this concept to promote empathy in your library and in your school. I want to start with this quote by Jacqueline Woodson from a beautiful picture book called The Day You Begin. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you until the day you begin to share your stories. And I love this quote, um, and I love this book. It is a fantastic way to start your year, and it sets a tone with your students that I feel like gives you endless potential for students to share and learn from each other. And I highly recommend this book to you if you haven't read it. It's fabulous and for all ages. Okay, so you may be familiar with this concept of windows and mirrors. Dr. Sims Bishop came up with this concept or coined the concept in the early 90s. Um, and as you know, window books allow students to learn about their lives and stories that are different from their own, um, broadening their perspectives. Window books help expand students' understanding of the world. Um, Exposure to diverse characters and experiences fosters empathy. And it also, window books also challenge stereotypes and prejudice. And that's probably one of the most important things we can do as librarians is open these windows for our students so that they can see cultures, individual stories that are different than their own so that they can develop that empathy. A great example of that is A Long Walk to Water from 2010 by Linda Sue Park. It is a novel based on the true story of Salva Dut, a Sudanese lost boy who fled his war torn country as a child. The book intertwines Salva's journey in 1985 with the story of Naya, a young girl in 2008, both struggling to survive and find clean water. Mirror books are those that reflect different aspects of students' identity. Those include all manner of things from family, race, ethnicity, culture, socioeconomic status, immigration experiences. Um, and it's important that we give these um, students the opportunity to see themselves in books as well. Um, it is important because what it does is it provides that validation and affirmation. It really helps them affirm and make them understand that their stories truly matter. It gives them possibilities and role models. It shows students the possibilities of who they can be. And it really speaks to the idea of cultural responsiveness. Using mirror books aligns with culturally responsive instruction, and it draws upon students' unique backgrounds and knowledge. A great example of this type of book is Where Are You From by Yamil Syed Menendez and Jamie Kim. Um, when a girl is asked where she's from, where she's really from, none of her answers seem to be the right one. Unsure about how to reply, she turns to her loving abuelo for help. He doesn't give her the response she expects. She gets an even better one. Where am I from? You're from hurricanes and dark storms, and a tiny singing frog that calls the island people home when the sun goes to sleep. There are themes of self acceptance, identity, and home. This powerful lyrical picture book will resonate with readers young and old from all backgrounds and of all colors, especially anyone who felt that they don't belong. Dr. Bishop also talks about a third category. She calls these sliding glass doors. And books can become sliding glass doors when readers feel transported into the world of the story and experience empathy for the characters. So it's like the door being open and students going in. Um, Using sliding glass doors helps build a community, creating that shared community. And it also is really important as a way to develop social emotional literacy um, and social emotional learning. Books truly help support our social emotional learning of our students, and most importantly, I think starts conversations. And we can use those to develop even more meaningful conversations with our students. A great example of a sliding glass door for my students is this powerful memoir in verse. It takes readers on a journey through the author's childhood, growing up as an African American girl in the 1960s and 70s. Through vivid language and personal reflections, Jacqueline Woodson invites readers to step into her shoes, experience her joys and challenges, and connect with her family, culture, and dreams. That is Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. Okay, so now that we have kind of the background stuff um, out of the way, I want to talk a little bit about how I introduce and teach this with my students. Um, I have really enjoyed doing this with both elementary school students and also my middle school students. We did this during November because November is National Picture Book Month, or it's Picture Book Month. Not sure if it's a national holiday or not, but it's Picture Book Month. And I wanted my students to have an appreciation for picture books as being something that is not just for younger students. I wanted them to see the value of picture books throughout their academic career. And in order to kind of introduce this concept of windows and mirrors, I shared with them this graphic, this illustration by Grant Snyder. It's from 2018, and it is just a fabulous illustration of all the things that books can be. As you can see, um, Grant Snyder used Dr. Bishop's ideas and expanded on them. So not only are books mirrors, windows, and sliding glass doors, they're also all of these wonderful things: springboards, warm blankets, quiet corners, escape hatches. And this image really resonated with my students. And I think that you should share it with your students as well as a way to kind of even deepen the conversation around the idea of books, and how they can reflect, um, open the ideas to others, and give students really interesting opportunities to learn more. Okay, so in order to do this lesson with my students, after introducing it, I chose a variety of books from different diverse cultural backgrounds. And I chose, again, picture books that I felt like would really resonate with my older 10 to 12-year-old students. Um, what I did was I created this slide deck, and I linked each author reading the book aloud on YouTube. And then I had students choose one that they were most interested in exploring. And I set it up so that all they had to do was tap on the book cover, and it would go to YouTube for them to read it. And I embedded the videos in a Google slide deck so that the videos would play right within the slide deck, so that even though it was going to YouTube, it wasn't giving them all of the stuff on the sides and choices and all of that. It just played that one video. And that works really well for my students. And I just created a QR code that they scanned, which pulled them into this particular slide deck. And all of these resources are in my resource page that I created in Wakelet. And I will have a QR code for you all to access that if you would like. Now, the reflection piece of this was I asked students to respond with one of the two forms that I was using with the students. So, um, obviously, this one, how is this book like a mirror? How do you see yourself in the book? And the students recorded their thoughts on this paper. And I printed them on multiple colors to make it a little easier for students to be able to see when they were um, presented on our bulletin board and in our hallway. We plastered the walls with these responses, which was really fantastic. So, this is the mirror response. This is the window response. What can you learn about others through it? Um, and like I said, all of these designs are in my resources at the end. Okay, so here are a few of their responses. They were incredibly insightful. It really truly provided an opportunity for us to continue to use this language of windows and mirrors throughout the whole year. And many, many teachers um, saw what we were doing in the library and asked for these forms to use in their classroom. And they continued to use those as reflection tools for their students. Here you can see some reflections from We Are Water Protectors. Here is a fantastic book, The Proudest Blue, by the Olympian. Um, and you can see some of the responses, and I'm sorry you can't quite read them. I'd be happy to send you some more images of these if you'd like. But suffice it to say, the students were really, really thoughtful, and you can see the different colors which represent the different types of responses. Next was My Poppy Has a Motorcycle. Fabulous, fascinating book. A little longer, but my students really resonated with this book. They found the whole idea of motorcycles fascinating. And for me, it was really interesting because I'm from Wisconsin and it seems like everyone has a Harley Davidson, but very few kids in my community where I teach have parents who have motorcycles. So this was kind of really an interesting exploration for them. And then the last one is called Eyes That Kiss in the Corners, which is a beautiful description of or explanation of a girl who realizes her eyes are different and her mom helps her to feel good about that, and understanding that she is special. And we have many students, not many, we have a good number of students in our community that, you know, either come from these backgrounds or have experience in some of these backgrounds. And so it was really important to me that they had an opportunity both to see themselves and to see others. And so I really was pleased with how the whole project went. And here are some um, images of these. And I didn't photograph the whole hallway, but the whole hallway was plastered with these. And many people saw these images on Twitter and asked me, "Where did you get those awesome posters?" Well, we made them in Canva. So we created the poster graphics that we used at this as the center of our bulletin board. Um, we have a poster printer in our school that I was able to print these and laminate them so that I can use them again in the future. And we did the same thing with how can a book be a window or a mirror text. We actually just printed that on a large poster and then cut it so that we could use it on the display that we have. Again, I have all those resources at the end. I'll share that QR code with you so that you can access those if you have any desire to do so. Um, I want to kind of wrap up by just kind of focusing on this idea that, books, as the quote here says, are not just words on pages. They are truly bridges to understanding, compassion, and a more inclusive world. And I know as librarians, we all believe that. And I think that this is one very um, easy way for us to begin to develop those um, expectations and understandings for our students. And I hope that you found some of this helpful. This is a QR code to my resources. I do believe that there is a link to these in the description as well, but feel free if you'd like to scan the QR code and access the Wakelet. If you find other resources that you find specifically very helpful in this idea, I would love if you would share them with me. Thank you so much for um, being part of this experience. And I hope that you learn lots and lots of great things from all of the other presenters. I know I am. Thanks so much.